Fire Call, the Fire Safety Show, Division Chief Jim Sedaris.
Hi, my name is Division Chief Jim Sedaris, and you are watching Fire Call, and we're going to be all over Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. Got some guys behind me, they're doing the training today, give you an idea of what's going on. This show is going to be great, it's going to be hot, but here's your early warning. Put your seat backs up, put your food trays in their upright locked position, tighten down those lap belts because it's going to be a rough flight. We're talking all about extreme rescue on this show. We're going to be all over what specialized rescue crews do, and then we're going to talk about a couple things that are going to save your life. So, we always have our questions. We're going to give you our quick questions, and if we answer your question or your shout out, you're going to get a super sassy Sioux Falls Fire Rescue t-shirt, just like this. Got most sizes. And here's our first shout outs. Now these shout outs come from around the country. People want shout outs to their fire department. First one's from Jason. Jason is in North Liberty. Wants a shout out to the North Liberty Volunteer Fire Department in North Liberty, Iowa. This next one is from Clinton. Clinton lives in Hunlock Creek, Pennsylvania. And he wants a shout out to Station 144, the Hunlock Creek Volunteer Fire Department. And our last shout out is from Ryan. Ryan lives in Elm Park, New Jersey, and wants a shout out to the Elm Park Volunteer Fire Department in New Jersey. So sit back, get ready, because we're going to have a great time on Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We got some of the most extreme rescue training going on in the state of South Dakota, right here in Sioux Falls, going on for a week. And this isn't sitting back and watching PowerPoint. This is getting down and dirty, and we have our lead instructor, Captain Travis Tom. Now, Trav, you kind of put this class together. You got people coming from all over the state to be here. Tell us kind of what's it entail and how did it start on day one and where are we at today?
This is a 60-hour course for what FEMA would require as a rescue specialist school. It'd be 60 hours and one day of classroom. On Sunday they started for about a 9-hour class, and the rest of the week they've been learning how to breach and break.
Which means, for our viewers, what's breach and break mean?
Breaking through concrete, wood, steel, and breaking through the same.
So now tell me, when you talk about breaking through concrete, because a lot of people aren't going to realize they're thinking concrete is the block of concrete. You have all types of concrete here.
Yeah, we have post-stressed, pre-stressed concrete. We've got
a quick down and dirty on reinforced concrete. What's in the middle of that concrete?
There's rebar or cable of some sort, depending on which one.
So just because you break through the concrete doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to drop right through that. You're going to now have to cut through that.
And part of the course is learning a little bit about engineering of the materials that are used and what not to cut and what to cut as part of the course.
Okay, now we're at the end. This is kind of the final, putting everything they've learned together to rescue things. So what's behind the tarp, and why do we have the tarp covering that up?
Oh, this is one of their final scenarios. They have an interior-exterior shoring operation going on also, but this here simulates like a pancake collapse on a garage.
So we're talking about like this?
Straight down, and there's a car in the middle, and right now the crews are working to get through wood, steel, and reinforced concrete, working their way towards the car, simulating someone in a vehicle in a parking garage.
So it's covered up, so they really can't even plan for this. They just get there and they're going to have to work their way through. They can't look on the outside and really do a lot of pre-planning on this whole thing.
Yeah, that's the purpose of the blue tarp, is just to cover it up so the guys can't see what's coming next. And then once they get through one piece of material, then they move up and they see what's next.
So it's as realistic as you could possibly make it.
Yeah, it's pretty realistic.
Now, anybody having any problems getting through this? Is it? I mean, you have to be. Obviously, we have people in pretty good physical shape. What do we want to tell for our firefighters watching out there when they think about doing this type of training or rescue?
Well, you're lugging around heavy pieces of equipment. You're lugging around 4x6 and 4x4 material. Most even construction guys aren't used to that size of materials. So most of these guys are pretty stiff after the first couple days, and they're really stiff now.
Not the Sioux Falls people, though.
Yeah, even the Sioux Falls people, Jim.
Well, Trav, thanks for your help. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
We're still talking about rescue, and this is extreme rescue. This is structural rescue, the hardcore stuff, and I have people from all over come to this training. With me is Lieutenant Kel Gunderson from Rapid City Fire.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Weather's beautiful.
I know.
Having a great
All for
time.
you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
The sun rises and sets over Sioux Falls. Hey, how many guys did you bring out with you?
We got 6 of us that came out. We have 4 of us going through the program, and then myself and another firefighter. We are here to shadow the instructors through the structural collapse
Now you
class.
talk about shadowing our instructors. What are you thinking about doing with that knowledge?
This is the second time I've actually been here for the course, and what we would like to do is kind of use this here as a base to mirror this program out in Rapid City.
Because we're 400 miles away from Rapid, essentially on the other side of the state.
Yes, exactly, and then that way we can have maybe the same type of program on both sides of the state, which hopefully would benefit the other departments. And in the future, I'd like to see Rapid City and Sioux Falls work together more, putting this program on. So.
Well, and when we're talking about this kind of really extreme type of rescue, have you done this kind of training out in Rapid before to this extent or not?
Yeah, we have. A limited number of us out there have been through this class, like I mentioned, out here in Sioux Falls. We're getting guys trained up in the structural collapse portion. And we have cross-trained a little bit with some more of our firefighters out there in Sioux Falls now. Out there in Rapid City now. What our goal is to try to increase the potential of our rescue team out there, and this is just one of the aspects that we're trying to achieve. This, along with high-angle rescue, confined space, and trench rescue.
Why is this training so important to you?
Well, it's not only important to us. I mean, it's important because of how it could possibly benefit the citizens all across the state. These are very specialized techniques that we're doing here. And with the tornadoes that we have across the state, with potential of natural disasters, this is something that could definitely benefit anybody. With this type of training, it gives us more of an aspect on how to enter a scene that's been through a disaster, how to size up that scene, and then how to do a proper rescue without injuring further individuals on the scene or even the firefighters who are doing the rescue.
So it's nice to actually not only read it from a book and see a video, but actually get your hands dirty and get in there and really learn how to use it, because this equipment is just not everyday stuff. This is really extreme type of equipment.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is stuff that, every piece of tool or piece of equipment has its place, and with the specialized equipment that we're using, we're talking everything from hammer drills that we're using down to drilling through concrete to cutting metal, to a regular sawzall that you might find in somebody's garage cutting a piece of 2x4. I mean, it's a whole array of tools that we're using, and we're learning how to use those tools in a different type of environment than what they're normally used in.
Yeah, and you're using those to their maximum potential in all the different aspects, upside down.
Oh, exactly, yes. Yeah, I mean, we are going through concrete that may be over top of your head, going down, vertically, going horizontally. We're using them
3D
totally.
rescue.
Exactly, yes, exactly. And everybody that I've seen so far this week, they're catching on, they're doing a great job, and yeah, it's very assuring.
Glad you're having fun.
Yes, having a ball.
Well, thanks, Cal.
Thank you very much, Chief. Enjoyed it.
We have another long-distance traveler. This is Lieutenant Wayne Criswati from Aberdeen Fire.
Correct.
And you're on the Aberdeen rescue teams too?
We are.
Tell me, what are you learning here? We talked to Rapid City, but I figure we'll get another viewpoint.
Sure. This is great for us because we're kind of out by ourselves there. We're 200 miles away from you guys, and anybody else that's going to help us would be close would be probably Watertown would help us. So coming to a class like this really helps us learn how to actually deal with real life situations. The training here is incredible because it actually has all the things we're going to deal with in the real world. Where classroom stuff is great, but having this actually going out and doing the work and having the hands-on is spectacular. So we can take this back to Aberdeen and utilize it there.
Now, have you ever done anything like this where you're actually lifting blocks of concrete, cutting through reinforced concrete, this more extreme type of rescue?
No, not a bit. Not my training, and I've been doing it going on 15 years. This is the first time we've actually got to come out and do it at a site where it's controlled, actual hands-on is real life. So for me and for our crew, as far as I know, this is the first time for us.
Now, how are the instructors? How are they treating you? Do they know their stuff?
Incredible. Yeah, they're really good instructors. We have any questions, they have answers for us. If they don't, they seek the answers out for us. But they're really good. They're really knowledgeable. They've got, seems like, a real life experiences. They can relate to us, and it really gives us a benefit being here.
Now, do you think that this is something you're going to ask more of your firefighters to come down and do?
Definitely, and the interest base in Aberdeen right now through the fire department there is quite large. We've already had a few of our guys go across to this class and take this class, but I know we have more people that are looking forward to doing this. And being a smaller department, it definitely helps us to be able to have more and more people be able to go and do that. So we're definitely going to be sending more people out, and I know there's more people that want to come and do the class. So.
Well, that's great, and you can tell them to watch Fire Call, then they can see you doing this stuff.
There you go.
And hey, we need more viewers all the time.
That sounds good.
Hey, Wayne, thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
it. Thank you, sir.
Got a lot of questions about how to save your life. And these questions are things that you can do to make sure that you survive a fire or another emergency. It's all about smoke alarms. This first question comes from Kathleen in Sioux Falls and also from Craig. Craig lives in Garrettson, South Dakota. And the question they see is, they have homes, they want to know where should smoke detectors be placed in a home. Well, these smoke detectors are what are really going to save your life. These are going to pick up that smoke while you're sleeping. These are going to let you know something's going on. So where do you put them? You put them outside the bedrooms, in hallways, and also inside your bedrooms, especially if you got little kids. Kids are going to be playing with matches sometime. This is going to give you early warning. Now, places that you can put these in all your rooms of your home, but we really want to make sure outside of the hallways of your bedrooms and then in each bedroom. Don't put a smoke detector in your kitchen. The problem is if you cook like we cook at the firehouse, you sometimes are frying foods, that's going to set these smoke alarms off. So kitchens aren't a good place to put them. But that's where we want to place those smoke alarms. Okay? Not really called smoke detectors, smoke alarms, because they're going to alarm and let you have that early warning notice. Now another question about smoke alarms. This one's from Jay. Jay lives in Sioux Falls. And also from Ryan. Ryan also lives in Sioux Falls, so these are some of the best questions you're going to hear. They want to know, do they expire? Is what Jay wants to know. And Ryan wants to know, how do you make sure that they're working at all times? Well, you should replace your smoke alarms every 10 years. These have gotten really dirt cheap. So you can buy them, replace them every 10 years. Also, you replace the battery at least once a year. Replace it. When you change your clock, change your battery. That's the way you remember that. And then once a month, all you do is you go up and you push the button to test these. So here it is. Every 10 years, twice a year change the batteries, and every month test it. It's fun to do. Push it, you hear the chirp, you're good to go. Now, if you're in your house and you hear this chirping, it probably means it needs to be the battery needs to be replaced. So if it chirps, find it, replace the battery. Batteries are cheap. And remember, this is saving your life, so it's worth the price. Now we're going to transition a little bit. Talking about smoke alarms, this is a great question. This question's from Chris. Chris lives in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, and we actually had to look up that town to make sure it really existed. Jim Thorpe's one of the greatest athletes, but we didn't know we had a town named after him. And he wants to know, what's the difference between carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide? The big difference is you have carbon attached to molecules of oxygen. And when you have carbon dioxide, you have one carbon, two oxygen. When you have carbon monoxide, mono meaning one, you have one and one. Now the big difference is carbon monoxide attaches to your red blood cells. It displaces oxygen. It attaches with an affinity 200 times greater than oxygen. So when you get carbon monoxide building up in your body, it's going to kill you pretty darn quick. Carbon dioxide is in the air. High concentrations will affect you, but we're really worried about carbon monoxide. Here's where carbon monoxide comes from. You're burning wood, you're burning oil, you're burning gasoline. Any fossil fuels, when they burn, give off carbon monoxide. So in your home, you have fireplaces, you have gas furnaces, you have gas water heaters, you can have stoves, lots of potential spots for carbon monoxide to get exposed, get in your blood system if there's a problem. Now, what do you do about it? Let's go on to this next question. This is from Rod. Rod lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. These Sioux Falls people want to know a lot of good questions. And Michael. Michael lives in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, and they want to know about carbon monoxide alarms. Now, we talked about smoke alarms. Now we have carbon monoxide alarms. Slightly different. Placement, you only really need one of these in your home, maybe a couple, but outside your sleeping areas is where you want to put these carbon monoxide alarms. What they're going to do is, if you have a buildup of carbon monoxide, they're going to go off, give you early warning. A lot of times these signs and symptoms of carbon monoxide are flu-like symptoms, nausea, vomiting, you feel tired. Well, if it happens in the wintertime, you just think you got the flu, when actually you have a problem in your home. You can have this carbon monoxide building up. We see that more often because homes are better insulated, and it's really keeping that carbon monoxide in the home, especially if it's not vented out very well. So that's why you want these. Now, these are so important. Sioux Falls Fire Rescue is now purchasing these for all our crews. Same as carbon monoxide as you put in your home, but industrial strength. They get beat up. These are designed for firefighters. We put them on all our medical bags, so when our crews are in a call and they have family flu-like symptoms, this is always monitoring that atmosphere to let our firefighters know if they're at risk at carbon monoxide, just like these would let you know if you're at risk. Very serious, and we've had our firefighters actually testing the air quality outside of homes and have levels of carbon monoxide outside of the homes. So good to get. If these go off, you know you probably have a problem with carbon monoxide in your home. So I hope that answers all your questions about carbon monoxide, but as long as we're talking about saving your life in the home, we got one more question. Sean lives in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Top of the line people here in Sioux Falls that takes, they got good questions. And he wants to know, where do most house fires start? Well, you know what? Surprisingly, 30% of our house fires start in the kitchen. What happens is people are busy with their lives, they start cooking, they might get a phone call, they might check their email, they might leave that kitchen, and before you know it, you have a fire in your kitchen, and they can spread very rapidly. So what we're encouraging people to do, and this is a freebie, guaranteed not to rust, bust, collect, dust, crack, peel, and blister. You can get these free of charge. This is our cooking stick. Now the way this works is, it's a simple stick, has a ruler on one side, but wait, there's more. Also has cooking temperatures for your foods. Now the way this oven stick works is, when you're cooking in your home, you have this by your stove. Okay? You say, oh, my phone rings, or I want to do something real quick. We don't want you to leave the kitchen, but if you do, you grab your oven stick. Then when you have this in your hand, if you take a phone call, this is your kind of clue to say, oh man, I'm cooking something. So you don't have a kitchen fire. We have these all the time. We're going to have these probably once a week. We're going to have problems in kitchens that we're going to either someone's cooking in an oven, on a stovetop. Sometimes it goes out pretty quick, but sometimes it causes a lot of damage. So you have your oven stick. Now, you want one of these because, darn it, they're sweet, everybody likes them. You can come down to fire headquarters, 37th Minnesota, and get your stick. Now, 2 notches here. Why the 2 notches? Because now you can also use this to slide in that grate in your oven, and you can pull that grate out. So, you use this, you don't have to worry about cooking for firefighters because they're going to be coming to your house if you have a kitchen fire. And if you want to make a nice batch of cookies for your favorite firefighter or division chief, you can use your oven stick to push those cookies in, take them out, and make sure they're just right. I really like peanut butter cookies. Hey, we're going to go on to the next section. We're still doing rescue, and when you think about rescue, we have all kinds of extreme rescue, including what to do if some worker gets stuck in a high elevation. We have a special crew for that, Rescue 5, and we have no one better than Captain Scott Gakey. Now Scott's the kind of guy that when things get hot, he stays cool because this is your job.
Hi,
right?
Jim. I'm glad you could join us today.
So, tell us about the training. Now you set this up and your crew did not know they were going to have this drill going on.
No, they didn't. We've done this second time, I should say, but we try to set up a drill where they don't have time to pre-plan it, just like if you got a call. So last day I tried to get them inside. They had a dive team actually working on the water tower. And I tried to get them just so they could see inside of it prior to coming here. So most of these guys had never even seen the inside of this water tower before they got here.
So you came with another captain. You rigged this mannequin up 60 feet up into the ladder of this, and then the crew showed up as we were here with you, and just surprise, here's what you got. And they had to decide really quick, and you weren't giving a lot of direction there. You were kind of letting them decide how to do this.
I did. When we got on scene, I tried to be like one of the workers, telling them that, hey, my buddy was up there, he slipped on the ladder, and he was in a lot of pain with his leg. And earlier, the water department worked with us, And we had the actual harness and restraint system that the water department would use.
So it's the same thing they're training with is what would they see in real life?
Yeah, so we didn't have our equipment on there. It was what they use. And they have a restraint system for when they're climbing the ladder.
What's the restraint system?
For when the workers are going up, in past, there used to be like cages around the ladders.
Right.
And then they started putting, they have a rail system that if somebody slipped, it'll catch them.
So they fall, they have a harness on, and the cam basically locks on the rail system to keep them from falling all the way down.
Correct.
So they'll just be locked somewhere.
And on previous towers, they had both. They had a cage and this cam system, but in order to get the cam to ride smoothly to the top, they have to lean back on it.
Right.
And so everybody was rubbing their shoulders the whole way. So and I hadn't been in this one before, and they told me this, well, there's no cage on this one, because I thought my guys would have to go on the outside of the cage to get around it. So it was, until I got here, it was a entirely new scenario for me too.
Now, as you evaluate your firefighters doing this, what strengths, what weaknesses did you see to improve on training for either when this happens in real life?
When we do this, we'll go back, we'll discuss it. One of the obvious things I caught as the patient was coming out, comfort of the patient is one thing we always look at. And with the 3-point harness, there's a high connection point that can be used. When he went up, he was attached at his waist. Well,
right.
They connected into the same one. So as he was coming down, he was laid more in a horizontal position where we'd like to have him more vertical as we're bringing him down.
Yeah, rides a lot more.
Just little things like that, little things we could have done different. Even between myself and my my driver, FAO, fire apparatus operator, we were laying out the system, and I actually started laying them out wrong, and then he was trying to finish up on what I started, and we probably should have communicated a little more beforehand.
Hey, communication and logistics, that's what the world's made of. Well, anything else you can think of when you think about this kind that you want to tell other firefighters who are watching this show when they think about doing this training with their crews?
I guess the only thing, the way I see it, the more you can train in scenarios like this where it makes you think on scene, hopefully it puts that little slide in their head, they can recall it later, you know, when they do have an emergency that they need to respond on.
Yeah, because then your heart rate isn't going to be at patent pending. You're going to have news media there, and you're not going to have a bunch of chief officers pointing and telling you what to do. So that was a really good job, and it's things like this that make our firefighters think outside the box, work harder, and become better firefighters.
That's the ultimate goal.
You bet.
Helping everybody else.
Hey, I hope you like this show, but we have one other thing. We're going to be having our list to get hired. So if you want to be a firefighter, especially on Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, and why wouldn't you? You need to get on our website, sign up those interest cards, and then they will let you know when we're going to actually be testing. But the testing is going to be 2011, so here's your big chance, and it's going to be at the beginning of 2011. Short window of time. If you're interested and you think you can hang with, well, most of these guys, I think you can. Don't you, Troy? What do you think? I think so. Eric?
I think so.
Hua. Okay, get on there because we really want some good applicants. Now, a lot of people are going to apply. We're going to probably get 300 to 500 people apply. We're only taking the best. So if you think you can hang with us, be sure to apply. Now, got some last minute shout outs. This course, remember, get a shout out, get a t-shirt, or if we answer one of your questions, we're going to send you a t-shirt. And of course, firefighters are wearing those t-shirts too, so it's a pretty sweet deal. First shout out's Bryant. Bryant lives in Waldorf, Maryland, wants a shout out to Waldorf Volunteer Fire Department, Station number 12 in Maryland. Malik wants a shout out to the Goaches Fire Department in Lancaster, South Carolina, where they're a junior firefighter and they like fire call. Hey, I hope you like the show. We sure have fun doing it. My name's Division Chief Jim Sedaris, and you've been watching Fire Call.